I mean, it feels like not the right time to do a dash and bash because right now, we
It's
just got the
always time to do
stimulus
dash and
bill, the
bash.
rescue American Rescue Plan scooped in with the 1,400 checks that's gonna be coming in people's.
Oh, because $1,400 is definitely gonna make sure that nobody gets evicted. Because they only owe like between $10,000 and $40,000
And
in back rent.
and you have local counties, you have states, you have cities who are like overturning the federal moratorium, the CDC moratorium. They're working their hardest to evict people in the middle of a pandemic. That's like
Yeah, we need
bizarre
people
world.
living in the streets. We need as many poor people as possible. Oh, and by the way, when all of those people are evicted, who's going to rent them apartments after that? Nobody. So
Ghosts, poltergeists, the
if
region
you're
board
so
must board.
hungry, if you are so hungry as a landlord to get your tenant out so you can get a new one in, you're going to be waiting. You're going to
Yeah,
be waiting.
yeah. If you think some pasty person is gonna move into your apartment in Brownsville for 1,200 a month, good luck, bro. So pretty much what's happening as well. We're not gonna knock because right now they want us all class, they want us all be divided. Meanwhile, only 600. We're focused on each other, but you know what? 657 billionaires. That's the number they're saying right now. Made 1.3 trillion dollars, and this is how we can begin dash and bash before we move to another subject. Just to give context, it's been a year since the pandemic has started. When shit got real, people running, ducking cover. That's what it felt like, ducking cover, running underneath your desk. That's what this moment felt like last year. A year later, 1.3 trillion dollars was made by 657 billion people. While you were scared, frightened, while maybe you lost your job, maybe you fell behind some bills, maybe or you're just worried with your family sometimes, you have anxiety about the virus. These people made 1.3 trillion dollars. So I could put this up here for you. This is a short of the list of people. I know some of these people, like Daniel Gilbert for Quicken Loans. He's like this weird, the movie RoboCop?
I know who the fuck he is.
He's like the guy. He's like the real life RoboCop CEO of Detroit. He's like the RoboCop. He's like the
Yeah.
He's like the
Or
real
but it's in Ohio, Cleveland.
No, but he pretty much has this pentagon of like cameras and like surveillance stuff in Detroit that his company runs because they have Quicken Loans, and it's weird with that. Then you have Amazon. Michael Bloomberg, while running for president, made a bunch of money.
He spent like $1 billion on his fake ass presidential run too, and that's accounted for, right?
He still made a bunch of money. How much?
I gotta say this, man, and this. I'm so. If you're gonna tell me that we're gonna have a worldwide pandemic, and everybody falls down,
yeah.
Why are the people at the top still rising? When
super
people,
rising,
everybody, if the virus knocks out 49% of our economy, these people should all have lost 49%, along with everybody else. Whatever you had, everybody should have lost 49%. But you know that your economy, this is not real capitalism. This is fake capitalism. This is fake. This is bullshit. Because when all the markets go, the markets are supposed to, how do I say this? The U.S. economy is 70% consumption. If the consumers don't have any money, then the producers should not be making any money. So you can't be telling me that you're getting wealth out of nowhere, out of nothing. People are getting evicted. People don't have food to eat. People are fucked up in the game. How did you make out like a bandit? You made out like a bandit.
Yeah, this is looting on the highest level. And
y'all want to talk to me about some sneakers?
Yeah, this is looting in the highest level of looting.
Look, he stole a $65 pair of sneakers.
That's
1.3 trillion.
That's how capitalism works. I want to take as much money from you as possible, and fuck you. So and if you try to make money like I make money, then I'm gonna fuck your business up. So that's That sounds like that works for me. So
No, that sounds very Amazon like.
yeah. So the next thing we're gonna talk about, which is like just like a little pivot. This is crazy. This is a crazy situation here because this is like a little discussion here because what this man was trying to do was really important. This he was gonna go on the board of this new of kind of like a giant broadcast conglomerate. They have like they own a whole bunch of local news channels, all those shitty news channels that that show like the dog hopping through the dog park, the new dog park,
Like
and
public access TV or some
no,
shit
not
like
even.
that.
I mean, like kind of Fox local affiliates, CBS affiliates, like
Okay.
local Fox, NBC affiliates. So,
Like regional stuff. Yeah.
yeah, like like all the where sometimes super duper virus stuff comes from. So, so pretty much, this incident happened a few years ago. This happened in 2014. This didn't happen recently, but it actually blew up now recently because he turned down this role. So, this guy. This article is weird. This article doesn't show a picture of him. I'm gonna show a picture of him real quick. So this guy was he was a candidate to be on the board of the Tegna Inc. Board, which is like board of directors. I want to pull his picture up real quick before I switch to the other article. So this is from like the Black Enterprise website. So I'm gonna have a whole bunch of stuff popped up. So yeah, so this what happened. So this is the most recent article. Tegna CEO apologizes for mistaking a black board nominee for a hotel car valet. So so pretty much what happened is, so I'm not even gonna scroll down. I just want to see this. So long story short, this man actually talked to this man. His name is Adonis Hoffman. He was talking to Hoffman. He talked to him face to face at the dinner, and then an hour later, whatever time passed, he thought that same black man that he was talking to at the dinner was a hotel car valet. So that's what happened, and then that's the incident. So so I'm not. So this is what Hoffman said. I'm not hypersensitive, but my guard was down because we just had a hour and a half hours conversation. So
Yeah, that's uh I don't want to say that the disrespect was intentional, but man, my irrational brain wants to go there.
yeah. So in these negotiations, a while they hired a law firm to interview it to be on the board. It's not just like like two interviews and you got a job. To be on the board of directors, it's not just like having two interviews and getting a job. It's like a whole process of like being interviewed by legal experts to like human resources to all kinds of different things. And so he was nominated for this, and then he turned it down in the middle of this. After all this time, he turned it down. I want to flip to the other article that talks about that. I keep getting confused with the. Oh, it's the Hill. So the Hill posted it. It just posted Hoffman declining pretty much the Tegna board after Valet incident. So this is pretty much his words. What happened? So I gave you the words of the other guy. Um, so he was drawing his bridge, citing the conflict interest that the CEO assumed he was a hotel valet, and so this is in the highest level. This is like at the SEC filing. This is like the Security Exchange Commission filing. He reported this racist incident in the filing and like federal filing about why he doesn't want to be on the board. And but the thing is, Dr. Virginius, like you said, like the incident was a matter of principles. I thought about it. If I was elected to a board, there had to be meetings for men who had interesting encounters with over the years. Um, I'm not offended to have been considered a valet. What really took me back was him seeing people categorically. It wasn't that he thought I was a valet, but just another brown skinned guy whom around he described to that position. Um, and I thought about it, and it's not a good recipe for a good working board relationship. When we talked about this, like, okay, imagine if this is happening on the board, imagine what's happening to the black intern to like you know would it be in your best interest as a black person to work in this company to help what's happening, or that company is so disgusting. We want no part. You don't want no money from that company.
Well, this is the way I see it. First of all, let me preface this by saying that I understand where he's coming from. I absolutely understand where he's coming from. But where I disagree is that I feel like in order for these things to change, he needs to be in positions like that. He needs to be accepted to that board. He needs to be seen there every single day. Not only does he need to be seen there by other black men, but he needs to be seen there by white men, white women, Asian men, Asian women. Everybody needs to see him in those positions so they get it in their mind through reference. They have a reference point. No, that guy actually that guy could be a board member. But if people don't see you, they don't see black men in these kinds of positions of power, they're going to forever be known as the valet. So that's where I disagree with his approach. Yes, to become, the kind of executive, he has to have an ego.
Yeah.
So I don't begrudge him that. But you have to also understand, too, the same mechanism that caused you to become offended at how you were being treated is the same mechanism that you were in a prime position to topple. You were in a position to topple all of that in the minds of all the people, the blacks, the whites, Asians, Hispanic, other, what have you. You were in a position and you turned that down, and now people are still not going to see you or other black men as possibly being board level material because you said, you know what, I'm not going to mess with the board.
Because, like, once again, you see his reasoning right here. It says, I'm not offended to have been considered a valet. What really took me back was him seeing people categorically. It wasn't that he thought I was a valet, but just another brown skin guy. So it's like he kind of says, I was offended, but I wasn't offended, but I am offended. So that's why.
Yeah, I mean, he basically just talked in a fucking circle.
Yeah, exactly.
But I understand. I understand. It's irrational. His response is irrational, and he has every right to feel what he felt, no doubt, right? But if you are going to have an opportunity to actually change the perception, then get up on the board so that people will see a brown guy as they could be anything. They could be in any situation in the company position.
Mind you, this must have been on his chest for a long time because it happened in 2014, but he got nominated in March 3rd. So he declined like like 7 years later. Like how many years later? Like it's like.
So yeah, it's irrational.
That one night cracker. Cracker.
And I'll also concede another point in his defense.
Yeah. What do you mean?
What you're looking at is generational trauma. Yeah. That's what you're looking at because. If a white guy had been mistaken for the valet, he's not turning down the board position.
Oh, want me to pull it over for you? Scrub the engine real clean? It would have been like a joke like that,
Right, but the thing is, this guy knows the history. Yeah. He knows the pain.
Yeah.
When he gets pulled over by police in his vehicle that is probably a higher grade than the person who was trying to hand him the valet keys, was handing him the keys to a car that he would never buy himself.
That's probably why he's even more offended. You handed me, in 2014, you handed me a fucking GMC, you handed me a fucking Prius Toyota, motherfucker.
Or you're handing me a fucking...
a Chevy Bolt.
A Porsche Boxster. I got a 911 Turbo. What are you talking about, right? So yeah, like
cylinders, like Howard Hughes in here, so it's like so you must have actually been offended, So
yeah, and I don't have a problem with him being offended, but the thing is that he turned down an opportunity to undo that very issue, and again, of course, I have this voice in my head. One of my friends, I hear her voice in my head. It's not up to. It shouldn't be black men's responsibility to change change the views of white people. But
It's probably what
the
Adonis
problem
was
is, like,
too.
our reality is what it is. Like, that
Probably,
is the reality.
it's
These
probably
are
what
the expectations.
yeah.
Let's just do what we can to change the expectations.
'Cause a lot of times that's why black people quit. A lot of times in these situations, like it's not my responsibility to be like the captain tycoon, captain, like save a white person. Like fuck out of here,
Or be the token black. Like,
Oh
nobody
yeah,
wants
yeah,
to be the token black. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
nobody
So
wants to be the affirmative action hire or the
yeah,
affirmative action promotee or whatever. Nobody
yeah,
wants to be in that position. Hey, I want to say that I just earned it colorblind.
yeah, and that's why Adonis hopped in his McLaren supercar and dipped the fuck out of there. So that's Stash and Bash. Um, Black Power Magic Hours on Twitter, Facebook,
He hopped in the
YouTube.
McLaren and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
dashed
yeah.
before he bashed that guy in the face.
Exactly. Like, so that's Black Cloud Magic Hour, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, or up in on Act TV. Then Dr. Richie sees live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and that's Dash and Bash.